Hello everyone, my name is Jana. Welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time, welcome here. I am an energy healing practitioner and teacher here to really ignite the real you. So I'm here to help you realize your dreams and visions through energy work. And just notice and feel how your alignment within yourself actually helps to heal your world. That's what I'm here for. So today I want to share with you um, how to approach your challenges. So when you think about being challenged, do you automatically feel like, oh, like this is so hard? Or do you tap into a sense of adventure? And if you're constantly moving into that, oh, this is so hard energy, which I'm fully aware of how that can be because that's how it's been for me for so long. Yeah, we start to notice like what are the tendencies? Are you more over to the challenge side? Are you able to shift your perspective to the adventure side and that perspective shift? And if you're struggling with those challenges, this is a perfect video for you because we're going to talk about what could possibly be influencing that and also how to shift it. So, I'll give you a personal example of a huge challenge that I was able to shift to an adventure. So, I have lived abroad currently for about almost 5 years, but I also used to live in South Korea for a couple years. And when I was in South Korea, I was on a train once, or I was supposed to be on a train, let's say, that was going from Seoul to where I used to live, which was not the capital. And this particular trip, I was really excited because I bought myself like a first class ticket because that was all that was left. And so I was like, okay, I'm really going to enjoy that and really just, yeah, enjoy that experience on the fast train or what they call the KTX. I'd never taken it before that I remember. Yeah, I think it was my first time and I really was like, yay, let's do this. Now, where I lived, the train station for the KTX was slightly outside the town or the city that I lived in, where in Seoul, it was more of like a major station. So when I was preparing to, or it might have been like another place that was close by to Seoul, but when I went to get on the train, I got on, I was walking down the aisle looking at, at my ticket and the places, and there was somebody in my seat. And so I was like, oh, excuse me, trying to show her, like, is it the wrong seat? And when I finally realized what was the deal, the train started moving. And it turns out that I was on the wrong train. I had anticipated and I didn't look at the time. I just knew that my train was coming soon. So I got on, not realizing that it was the wrong train. And I completely flipped out because, like, I could feel this sense of, like, what do I do? Like, almost terror kind of building up in me because my Korean wasn't good enough to communicate, my problem necessarily. And I wasn't sure how to fix it. And also, I believe it was a Sunday, so I had to work the next morning and didn't have really much time to make errors, and I needed to be back in my hometown or my home city where I was staying. So I made my way up to try to find somebody to figure out what to do. And in the meantime, I was really trying to calm myself down and be really present because I knew there was no escaping it. Like I couldn't just, dream myself out of this situation. I had to be really present because I had a need. I had to be back at and working in my town. So I went and found the conductor person, and it turns out that there were, I think, four other people, maybe even five other people who actually had done the same thing I did. And I found this out a little bit later, but they were all standing around trying to talk to the conductor because they had done the same thing as me and gotten on the wrong train. So that in itself was a huge relief because I didn't feel alone. And I was like, there could be something wrong with the system or the way that we the trains were presented in a way that made it more challenging for us to recognize the right one. So, luckily I wasn't alone, so that made me feel slightly better, but I was still really anxious about like how I would get home, how much would it cost, and all of these details. So, first of all, we were on a train going in the direction that we needed to, but not exactly to the same place. So I was able to speak with this conductor who explained to me in English that we were going to have to get off at the next stop. And since that next stop was not, it was not like we could just turn around and take the train back or take, another train. It was actually in a different place, a different station. So he explained that we would have to get off the train, take a taxi to the other station, catch the other train, and then that train was heading in the direction that we wanted to. And it was very like timely. So we really had to not make any mistakes. So here I was with four other Korean ladies. We're like, okay, we're ready. Like, we hopped off the train. We went, got a taxi. The three of them sat in the back, and I guess, yeah, there were four of us. So the three of them sat in the back, and they were like, no, you go sit in the front, you sit in the front. And the driver was trying to talk to me, and so I was like trying to use a little bit of the Korean that I knew. So we get to this station, this other station, pay, for the taxi, run, hop on the other train. And then we had to wait for the conductor lady to find a place for us to sit. We had to stand for a while because we didn't have a reserved seat. And so in the end, I ended up having to stand for a while, give up my first class ticket seat, sit in a plain seat, but I made it back to my hometown KTX station in time for me to not have to take a taxi back, but I was able to take a bus. And so in the end, it all worked out. But during this time, at first I was freaking out. And then I realized there was no getting out of it. So I really had to just lean into it and create this sense of adventure and the sense of solution and solidarity with these ladies when we were all looking for a solution. So that's an example of how, and a story of how, you can go from a huge challenge, being in a country where I didn't speak the language well enough, and on the wrong train. I had this need of being back, to work, and all of these things that seemed impossible to resolve. But when I was really present and really focused on moving through and having it resolved, it actually resolved a lot better than I expected, and I was so relieved. So this can be an example of how you can use challenge and turn it into adventure. Now, I also like to share a little bit about human design because I think it can really be relevant for how we move through our experiences. And so if you're not familiar with human design, you can Google it and learn a little bit more, learn about your type. If you already know your type and a little bit about human design, there are these gates in human design. There are these energy gates, and these gates have themes. And there's actually a theme that's located in the center, one of the 9 centers in the spleen. And this center is called Gate 28, I believe. And it's really about this theme. It's about this theme of, are you feeling really challenged, or are you allowing these challenges to become adventures? So you could say, in a sense, that the high expression or the optimal expression of this energy theme would be deep trust, to be able to shift from that challenge to adventure, to be able to embrace change, to feel as if you're learning something, you're exploring, you've got boundaries that you're pushing to grow. where the lower aspect of this energy would be like feeling you're a failure all the time, that you feeling this despair or defeat, or you're unable to forgive yourself for these challenges that you are in, and maybe having a hard time with self-forgiveness. So you can notice how you feel on this scale between, are you on the adventure side or are you feeling more of the challenge side? And being really present and aware of this energy can allow you to then start to shift it. You can start shifting your decisions. You can start using what they call your authority in human design to start moving more into alignment. And if this is really challenging for you, you can also use energy work to come into that energy within yourself of what it is that you want, instead of that challenge or that defeat or failure or whatever that is for you. So this is what I do with some of my work, is to actually move, identify, notice, find out what these energies are that are so uncomfortable, and to release them so that you can live that more optimal expression. Now, everybody has this theme kind of within them. So it's not just for some people, it's really for everyone. So depending on where you are feeling with this, you may experience it and have more challenges or not. Now, I personally have this gate undefined in my chart. So I often will experience and feel this energy in many different ways, and it may not be as consistent as somebody who has this gate defined. So you can notice your definition in your chart, and that will help you to almost in a sense interpret your experiences or things that you may have going on, and it also can give you a bit of a foundation for how you want to shift that energy next. So in order to shift the energy, we're going to start right now. And I'm going to walk you through a mini meditation, as I like to do, and really shift with that intention of shifting from the more the challenge side to the more of the adventure explorer side. So I want you to think about a challenge that has come up for you recently. Maybe it's, blaring and in your face, or maybe it feels like it's there and it just won't go away. Whatever that feeling is, I want you to recognize, notice what that is. And then I want you to take a moment. You may need to pause the video and think about or feel into, what would the opposite or better feel like? What would that be? So if you're feeling a sense of failure, despair, discouragement, what would you want to feel instead? Would you want to feel successful? Would you want to feel confident? Would you want to feel that you have a deep sense of trust within yourself so that you can get through any challenge? Would you want to feel a sense of excitement because you're like, yes, this is an adventure? What would you want to feel? You're going to take that, you're going to imagine, intense, sense, feel, or even visualize that feeling is in your heart space. So we're not going to think about this rationally. We're going to go with our feelings. And you're going to imagine that feeling is now being amplified, like it's growing and expanding in your heart space as this energy. And you're going to allow it to grow and grow and grow. You're going to have this intention. You can visualize, sense, and tender feel. And then once it's expanded so big, you're going to allow it to burst out of your heart space like a firework or slingshot or something like that. And you're going to just let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. And now that we've kind of guided the energy of where we want it to go with our intention, I'm going to bring you a song bath to help anchor in that energy of what it is that you desire, and allow that energy to then start to create that in your physical, emotional, and energetic world. So here we go. You may want to take a deep breath. Ooh, yeah, yeah, ooh, yeah, yeah, ooh, hey, yeah, ooh, hey, yeah, ooh, ya. Aue ya me ya ue ya. Aue ya me. Aue ya me ya ue ya. Hey ya ue ya me ya ue ya me ya. Hey ya me ya ue ya. Aue ya me ya ue. Hey ya me ya ue ya me. Aue ya me ya ue. So take a deep breath. Notice how you feel. Notice what shifted within you. Are you feeling a little bit more comfortable with yourself or in yourself when it comes to thinking about that challenge? So when you think about that challenge or that feeling, where are you now? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, are you at a 1 is like, oh, nothing changed. This is the worst I could feel. Or have you moved towards that 10 of like, I feel really good? So notice how you feel. You can always come back to this video, check in the notes. You can also check out the timestamp and just listen to that song bath again and really be in the energy of adventure instead of challenge. So if this is something that has been really useful for you, leave a comment below. You can also explore in the notes more of the work that I do and how I move people from where they are at to realizing their dreams and their visions through energy work. So taking and working on their personal alignment to help create what it is that they want to realize. So check that out. Leave a comment below of what it is that you experience. I'd love to hear about it. And it also encourages other people to share and to experience, because everyone has a different experience with this depending on where they are energetically. So that's all for now. Have a great day or night wherever you are in the world, and bye.